Okay, so I don't want to go into this with any like lead up or anything. I just want you to watch it and kind of just see what you think.
Okay.
Good evening, I'm Karen, and we're starting tonight with a story that's, well, frankly bizarre. A food truck robbery in Bakersfield today that's left everyone scratching their heads. This afternoon, a masked man entered the popular That Smash Stack food truck, the smash burger spot. And instead of grabbing the cash register or demanding money, this guy started cooking. But wait, it gets better. Our culinary criminal apparently worked up a thirst because he came back for a homemade lemonade before finally leaving the scene.
This fool walked in and my worker didn't know what to do. I mean, I know our burgers are good and all, but he ain't have to do all that. We give free burgers to homeless people all the time. Wait, what the I think that's him over there. Oh my God.
The robber was identified as Damian Gallardo and has been on the most wanted list for the past 2 years for stealing food across the United States. This video was eventually found on his Instagram story, and he is now being sentenced to 30 years in a maximum security prison.
That's funny.
So like
that's a really good like fake news story to make, because it sounds real. Like the AI voice of the news lady sounds really good. And they make it grainy. They did a really good job. They have like the titles along the bottom.
This is a prime example of what we were talking about, saying that we are now in the entertainment industry. It's not the 100%. Social media industry, it's the entertainment industry.
Yeah. And they do a lot of things in this video that are pretty cool, because what they do is it starts off, you're like, oh, they just robbed the person. Like somebody, like you want to do it because when you see a robbery thing, you're like, oh, what's going to happen?
Right.
But then it's kind of funny because he starts making the food. So that's already
and you're like, what?
You're like wait, like it's crazy. And then, but they have the news person talk about like a famous, like they make really good like even they're starting to kind of sell you as they're talking about the news clip, like the news lady is.
And they do PR too, where they talk about giving away food.
That's what I was going to say.
People.
So then she talks and they're doing it not in a way like, hey, look at us. But he's like, hey, he doesn't have to do that. We give it to homeless people all the time. Like that's another poll. And then it's like they talk about the homemade lemonade, that he comes back for homemade lemonade. There's that. And then it's a funny skit. Like they made it really good.
It gets just a little bit more ridiculous
as it goes on,
so that that, hey, this is not a real news story, because at first you think that it is, and then it's like, okay, this isn't. And it's just like, this is such smart marketing.
It really is. And the amount of effort it takes for something like that is not that much.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I know it feels like if you're a small business owner and you're like, oh, I want to grow my business online and all this stuff, you feel like you not only do you have to run your business, but now you feel like you have to be a content creator too.
Right.
And it's like, if you want a big online following, that is what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like you do have to be some sort of content creator. That doesn't mean you have to be like, you have to buy fancy cameras. It doesn't, like, you could have shot all that on an iPhone easily.
Yeah.
You didn't need anything else except an iPhone and editing app, which like Instagram has their editing app now. So you can edit there and then upload straight to Instagram.
Well, and CapCut, like
CapCut's
as much
amazing.
as I don't want to admit it, because like my career started in the video production field. And so we did like, the high end programs, the motion graphics, like on Adobe After Effects and stuff, which was so hard to learn and such a huge learning curve. And then like, the other day, for just a family member, they needed a very quick edit of a dancing audition, for like my niece.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, you know what? I don't have time to do this full on production with the programs that I know best.
Yeah.
And so you told me, I think, about CapCut.
Yeah.
So I downloaded it and I was like using it, and I was, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
this is like, this brings down the barrier for so many video creators to create and craft something that's really good quality.
Yeah.
And that back in the day used to cost so much.
Yeah.
And now you can even use their free program. Like, and create something that is very impressive.
And when I was doing videos for my own channel all the time, doing projects, I started using Premiere at first, and I was like, this is a lot. Then I found one that I could edit on my app, and it was pretty good, called LumaFusion. Then from there, I moved to CapCut because CapCut overtook just like the capabilities. But it's like 90% of my editing can be done on CapCut. Because it's like it's easy, it's free. They have a free version, but I pay for the Pro, which gives you transitions.
And it's pretty reasonable.
Like it's $9 a month, I think,
compared to like what you'd pay for the Adobe Suite.
Right,
you know, it's
very expensive, and so
or very cheap.
Yeah, so the barrier to entry is really small. I mean, you have Instagram's editing software on your phone if you do just film on your phone, but you have to be able to like be creative on these things and put time into it, and it's hard as a business owner. Like if you're at a restaurant and you're opening up and closing and doing a bunch of other stuff and trying to balance finances, and then on top of that you're like, oh, I gotta go do a TikTok or a reel.
And
it's hard.
Well, and you do have to consider as well, like from a business owner perspective, in the middle of it, everything, right? Like it can be difficult to come up with that concept and then execution. You know, I mean, there's okay, where are we gonna film this at? Who are we gonna get in it?
Yeah.
Like what tools do we have available to us, you know? And then actually filming it, then editing it, even though the resources are there and that barrier to creating really good content is a lot less than what it used to be. It still takes up a lot of time, more time than you want as a business owner.
Right.
But we see stuff like this. You just have to do it.
Yeah, right.
Like you have to put aside the time to
the
do
return for it is so big. And the other thing is like the cost is your time.
Yeah.
But it's not, you're not spending money on ads. You're not spending, like you can actually have a really effective marketing campaign with just creative, with just content.
Right. Well, in this video, I just pulled up the numbers. It has almost 23,000 likes, over 1,100 comments, and almost 16,000 shares.
So hit the like button, and it should show you the views at the top. Does it show you the views if you hit the like it shows you who's liked it? It doesn't show you the views. So some people hide their views, which is pretty common too. But yeah, I'm sure the views are insane as well. I mean, just the shares itself, that's a big part of Instagram now. And if you're sharing it to friends, that means that you're talking about it, and you're pushing it out to just organically to people you think it's funny. And you have a location
tagged in there as well, and so like people in that area are going to be more likely to see it, I would imagine.
Which I just saw. They asked a question. The CEO of Instagram answered that they're going to start implementing, like, if you tag locations, they're going to start sharing it more and more to the people in that location. That'll makes
perfect sense.
Which I don't know why it hasn't.
I
don't know why it hasn't been like that before. But he said that is going to be a change where they're going to start pushing it to like more local places if you tag locally.
And you can do other stuff with it too. So I mean, we know Google Business Profile, it does something very similar to where if you're in that area and you're typing in a food related to whatever they're selling, you know, burgers in this case, like it's going to show up higher in the results. So like not only can you have that, you can post that video on your Google Business Profile as well.
Right.
And you most certainly should. I hope they did. Because, you know, that's just going to get seen by even more people. And when you make someone laugh like that, like you've already gotten them one step closer to your doors. You know?
Yeah.
And so, we just got to prioritize setting aside the time to make people fall in love with your business.
Thanks for listening. Every week we go over news, tips, tricks, and best practices to help you grow your small business. So follow and subscribe below.
For more information, check out our website at launchingpros.com, where you get access to a bunch of free resources and courses designed to launch and grow your business online. Check out the links below.